thanks again. I know you're a busy person and you're busy building, and you've been
I
dropping
am
some
busy
news,
building.
so I appreciate you taking the time to meet with me. Yeah, I'll just jump into it. So who is Joseph or Cup of Joseph? Uh, and how did you get into Web3? I know you just did a podcast with Fet, which I'll also link in my show notes as well, so people can kind of get a really good story. But I'm probably
Sure.
going to be riffing a lot off of that podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did I get started in crypto? I prefer crypto over Web3. I used to say Web3 because it's you can talk about it in public without normies realizing what you're talking about. So Web3, great term, but I think for this audience, I really just call it crypto.
Yeah, crypto's fine.
And anyway, I haven't really seen anything in Web3 that isn't crypto that's like actually interesting. So, but other people can argue about that.
Yeah,
So how?
I let people figure it out, like the on chain. Is it with a hyphen or
Yeah,
no hyphen?
exactly.
I'm like, man, just pick one.
So yeah, for me, I was studying computer science in college, and I had a project with this girl that I liked, and she said, "Hey, have you heard about this thing Ethereum?" And I'd never heard of it, but I just decided to learn Solidity over the weekend to impress her, and that's it. That's how I learned about Ethereum and got into it.
Love it, man.
So that was like 2017.
2017. That's good, man. Yeah. I got into crypto in 2012, so I've been around
Oh my God.
for a
And you're
hot
still
minute
making
now.
podcasts?
I didn't start making content till recently, actually. So I actually just celebrated my 3-year anniversary of doing
Ooh,
content. I had a blog
congrats.
post that I put it up. Yeah, thanks. And I kind of was reflecting on it. I was like, I've been in my feelings for about a week or two now, just like reflecting on this journey. And I mean, the TLDR on that post is really like, I get to meet new people and new ideas, and all of that's super exciting. And I would put you in there as well, like in terms of um most people would be like, not another stablecoin. Oh, another thing on
Oh,
Arbitrum,
I
like
would
another
also
DeFi
say that.
thing.
People come to me, Joseph, you made a new stablecoin despite there already being 1,000 stablecoins. Should I do
Exactly.
one? And I say, no, I wouldn't
And
wish this on anybody.
I
I
know.
wouldn't wish having to start a stablecoin on my enemies.
Trust me, I thought about it sometimes. I was like, should we be making a stablecoin? And I'm like
No,
in
don't do it.
nouns, and I was telling someone, I was like, should nouns make a stablecoin? And I was like, nah,
No,
screw that. uh, so
no
yeah, so
way.
like people from the outside looking in, we'll see that, and I'll say yours is different. You actually sent me down a pretty nice rabbit hole. One that I wasn't too familiar with, which now I feel like I need to research some more. So the things that got me into crypto were kind of like the um was DeFi originally. So like for me, it was I wasn't able to access traditional banking systems back in
Yep.
2008 when I was trying to go to college, and when I found out about Bitcoin, I was like, dude, where was this when I needed it? I had to end
Yep.
up taking like a personal like loan from a friend, like a family friend to get myself through school. And I just think about like DeFi, and I'm like, man, like there's so many opportunities now. So that's what got me there. Definitely the immutable aspect of it. So Bitcoin being immutable, and then the decentralized aspect of it. So those are the things that always just call me. So
Yeah.
I recently met with someone who did a token launcher, but it was all immutable. Once you launch it, it's done. Which could be kind of scary, but it also has some positives. And so with you, what attracted me to Narrate specifically was I know that it's a Liquidity V2 fork now,
That's right.
but it sent me down the Liquidity rabbit hole. I had no idea that there
Excellent.
was. Yeah, so it was freaking epic, man. Because I've always loved the concept of DAI, and I know that you talked about it with Fet, where like I don't understand why we don't have why it hasn't been fully embraced. Like everything's pegged back to the dollar, and I'm like, Give me
Well, we can
something
talk
that's
about
pegged
that if
to
you want,
yeah.
because
Like I definitely want to talk to you about it. Like I want
I've
to
made unpegged stablecoins before.
yeah. Like I want something pegged to something else. Like as, as an American or someone that lives in America, like I'm like, dude, I have enough USD exposure. Like
Yeah,
give me ETH stable coins, BTC. Like so,
that's just
there's like a USDH on Stacks protocol. That one
yeah.
I like, which is it's pegged to BTC essentially. So yeah. Anyways, let's talk about stable coins. So why did you build another stable coin?
Another
uh,
one, right?
Another one, yeah. Even though that's a softball. Like for people that don't know what Nerite is, I wanted to explain
Okay.
why did you do this? Yeah,
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I was working at Consensus when Dai launched, when Maker launched Dai, right? And
yeah.
that was like a huge, that was just like a huge moment because it was the first time that someone who is not it just like not connected to the government in some way, doesn't have a license, is creating a currency that actually, works. And it was also the first, actually, I think, like peaceful, stable currency because you have like USDC or USDT, before that, but they're backed by treasury bills, and treasury bills are like funding the United States war machine. And actually, like making stable coins is like very useful, um, more useful than Bitcoin or Ethereum or other things that are like fluctuating in price for certain use cases. But it's also like the peaceful version of that. So that really appealed to me, and that was kind of part of my journey to get here. But I've contributed to like quite a few other stablecoin projects. So you already mentioned Liquidity V2, and I actually started contributing to Liquidity V2, just working on open source stuff for them last year before Nearite launched, and took some of the inspiration and some of the tech from previous projects that I've done for unpegged stable coins. So if you want like to get into like the history of that, and I actually think more people in crypto should know this and like know like what experiments and what things have already been done and what works and what doesn't. Uh, we started the first unpegged stable coin was Reflexer issuing Rye, and that used a PI controller instead of a stability, basically pool, or instead of a hard peg. So let me ask you this: why you said you like Dai? Dai stays at $1. Why does Dai stay at $1?
Uh, the way that I interpret it back when I bought Dai in like 19, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's like a basket of assets, and it's like the dollar, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. And
Right.
between those three, there might be something else, but from what I remember, is from within those three, the price should kind of stabilize. Like if the dollar was
Sure.
going up, Bitcoin might go down, but if Bitcoin's going up and the dollar is losing its like value, then it kind of
Yeah.
it equalizes.
Yeah. That I mean, that's I guess one way, like kind of to think about it. There's a bunch of individual loans. It's backed by ETH and USDC mostly now. And you've got all these like different things that are backed by their individual loans. Dai's over collateralized, so it's backed by this, combination of assets. But why does it trade at $1? Like, why doesn't it fluctuate at all as the price of Bitcoin, you know, fluctuates? And the real reason is the protocol values one Dai at $1. So if you take out debt, your debt is valued at $1 per Dai. When you pay back debt to the protocol, it's valued at $1 per Dai, right? And that's basically true for Nearite, it's true for Liquidity, and every other US dollar pegged CDP protocol. And CDP stands for collateralized debt position. So Dai is an example of a collateralized debt stablecoin. And Reflexer was the first attempt in crypto and DeFi, to make a non-pegged stablecoin. And you can actually go look up how it performed against all these other like currencies. And you've got the Swiss franc that went way up compared to the dollar, and the euro down a little bit, and USDC the same. And Rye was the best. Rye was the best, most stable version. Like, it was actually more stable than the euro and other currencies. And basically, it's really complicated, and I don't want to. I could spend the next hour trying to explain like the mechanism, but the protocol doesn't value Rye at any particular price. The price it values it at fluctuates based on market rates,
Yep.
and sometimes the price is going up, and sometimes the price is going down, and it's supposed to uh, have the same value. So it dampens volatility on ETH. It was only backed by ETH, and by dampening volatility, it like maintains the same value even if the price in dollars changes. So I think the original price was like 3.14, so it's trading at like $3.14, and then it just kind of like fluctuated around there. And Rye failed. Vitalik posts about it, or used to, a lot, and put like $30 million into it at one point. But the mechanism for like maintaining stability was too confusing, and just like not a lot of people used it. It didn't have enough Ponzi-nomics or like number go up technology, so it never gained a lot of adoption. And now it's shut down, and they're working on Rye Dollar to make like a version 2 of that, kind of based more on liquidity. And so we had this moment with Rye where it's not doing really well, but everybody says what you said. Everyone says, I wish there was a stablecoin that wasn't US dollar peg. But there was, and you didn't know about it, and you didn't use it.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct.
So there's a reason for that, because people don't want their debt in an asset that goes up in price, and it's just not as scalable, right? So I contributed to Rye, and then there's another like fork of Rye called Let's Get High, which is live right now.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, and so that's High, and High is awesome. Like, definitely check that out. It's on Optimism. It's still growing. It's got the High Wheel, which is an incredible innovation in number go up technology, and I really like what they're doing. So they're also not pegged to a dollar, and the price just goes up like with inflation. It's just like an inflation stable coin, so it just beats inflation and it makes money. So
Yep.
that's cool. And at the same time that High was being built, I was working on Open Dollar, which was another like another PI controller stablecoin not pegged to a dollar that was designed to go up on Arbitrum. And we launched that a little over 18 months ago, in the beginning of like 2024. So it got to like slightly less than 2 million TVL, and I still think it's actually the best designed stablecoin that I've ever seen. Like, it's better designed than Neurite, but it's also really hard to explain to people, because who wants to like learn about how PI controllers work? People want to put their money into something that they don't have to think about very hard, and number just goes up. You don't want to have to
Yeah.
think about all these other things. So the mechanism was too complicated, and it's basically dead now. And that was Open Dollar. So that was like my previous stablecoin. And after Open Dollar kind of exploded, I didn't have like closure about how that went, because I just had spent like a year designing this stablecoin. And so I took some of the tech from Open Dollar and we put it into Liquidity. And so Liquidity V2, which, by the way, Liquidity V1 is rated as the #1 safest stablecoin in the world.
Yeah.
Even safer than USDC. It has a better safety rating by bluechip.org, which is a stablecoin rating agency. It
Yeah.
has a better safety rating than USDC or Tether, because it has this new feature called redemptions. So at any time, you can take one LUSD from Liquidity and you can redeem it for $1 worth of ETH at any time. So you can always get out of the stablecoin, even if there's no liquidity for it on Uniswap, or it's trading in the market at 1 cent each. You can always get $1 of ETH for your stablecoin. no matter what the price of ETH is. So that's pretty revolutionary. USDC, you cannot call them up at 2 a.m. on a Saturday and say like, "Hey, can I have one treasury bill for my $1 of USDC?" They don't do that, you know?
No. Yeah.
So this kind of redeemability stuff, and it's immutable, which you said earlier, is like important to you, or one of the things that originally interested you in crypto. It's like this immutability. So Liquidity is really cool. I have really loved Liquidity, and I heard their V2 was coming out. It creates yield-bearing stablecoins, and it creates user set interest rates, so you can borrow at whatever price, whatever interest rate that you want. And it also added tradable debt positions, so the debt positions are now
Yeah.
NFTs, which is pretty cool. And that was a feature of OpenDollar originally. That's now part of Liquidity. And the other really cool thing that Liquidity V2 is doing is they have this licensing model where all the code is open source and it's free to read and it's totally available, and it's one of the most audited code bases of any like major DeFi protocol. And you can copy it and you can fork it on whatever chain you want, but you have to get a license from them because it's under a business license. And the license is like pretty cheap, but it's like insanely valuable, right? Because you have this license to this like very valuable code base. So when they were launching Liquidity V2, they came to me and said, "Joseph, we really like your ideology around stablecoins and the work you did with OpenDollar, even though it didn't work. Do you want the license for Arbitrum?" And I said, "Wow, someone's offering to give me something very valuable. I would be foolish not to do that."
Yeah.
And that is the like very long roundabout story about how Neurite came to exist. And so yeah, then I just started working on Neurite, and there were a few other things that I always wanted out of a stablecoin that we can get into. But yeah, there's just like a few things I always wanted stablecoins to have that no one has ever really gotten around to. So I said, I'm just going to build, I don't know if anyone's going to use this. I'm just going to build what would the absolute ideal decentralized stablecoin look like.
Yep.
And I'm just going to build it, and I'm just going to make it from scratch based on Liquidity V2. And
Yeah.
now we're here, and we've got, almost 10 million TVL with $0 in bribes and $0 in marketing spent, and no like under the table bribes to market makers, or like any of the BS that most new DeFi protocols do. It's just kind of like really grassroots, and everybody seems really happy with how it's going so far. So yeah, I mean, people are using it every day, and I love everyone who uses it. I'm like insanely grateful. And yeah, that's kind of like brings us to now. But I think the history, maybe it's boring to like ramble on about the history, but like I think it actually gives people a really good idea about like why are the features the way they are now, and like what brought us here.
Yeah, no, 1000%. I think all that history is definitely valuable, and I learned definitely a lot along the way, So, for context too, like for most of my listeners know, like I was actually like a BTC maxi for actually way too long. So
Uh
I don't even have a lot of that Ethereum. Even though I was in the space early, I didn't have that early Ethereum exposure. Like
yeah,
I wasn't exposed to Ethereum. Like I heard about it, but to us it was like a shitcoin for the longest time, to be
yeah.
honest. So
And
it
it
wasn't
still
until
is
like
to a lot of people. People are like,
it
"Oh,
is
Ethereum." Yeah, I mean, it's like a shittier version of Bitcoin. I heard it has smart contracts, but who uses those?
exactly one
It's
thousand
like,
percent.
dude, go look at the top 100 coins. Do you have a screen share? Can you pull that up? Look
Yeah,
at
I
the
can. Yeah,
Go on CoinGecko and look at the top 100 coins right now.
let's go. Yeah, FYI, I'm not a Bitcoin maxi anymore.
It's
I got out of that world. That's why I don't understand tribalism either. Like when people are like, "Oh, um, I don't mess with like a new chain or something." I was like, "Hey, man, I've
why?
done
Yeah,
that
just play
already."
with it. Yeah. So
Yeah,
number one Bitcoin. Number two, Ethereum. Number two, Number 3, Ripple, who the primary driver of value for Ripple right now is that they are building a clone of Ethereum that uses the EVM.
Yeah.
And they're making a EVM stablecoin. Number
Yeah,
4, Tether, a token on Ethereum. Number
yep.
5, BNB, literally a fork of
A
Ethereum.
fork.
Like,
Yep.
yeah. Solana, a token on Ethereum. Doge, staked Ethereum. Tron, which is
Yep.
a fork of Ethereum. Cardano, which wishes it was Ethereum.
Exactly.
Number 12, wrapped staked Ethereum. 13, a
Yep.
token on Ethereum. 14, a beacon, wrapped beacon Ethereum. 15, tokenized Bitcoin on Ethereum.
Yeah.
16, stablecoin on Ethereum. 17,